15 days left until 9/28, September 28th, 9/28 day. I'm feverishly continuing to work on the Project Risky Business, our 1985 Porsche 928 project car I purchased 2 years ago for $4,000. With the dashboard and the instrument pod recovered, I moved my focus today on the center console, which will likely be the most difficult part of the project. So today I'm going to show you how I dismantled and removed the original leather skin from the center console, as well as all of the components that are in desperate need for a cleaning. But before that, the last couple of videos I've done in my basement workshop, I was a little bit embarrassed because that needed some cleanup. So that was the first thing on the agenda. Now that I had the workshop all in order, I could focus my attention on the console. I'm a little bit nervous about this. I've got a surprise though, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But there are a couple of components as I dismantled this that I likely have to order. So as soon as I finish posting this video, I'm going to be frantically looking at whether I need to order parts, and we'll provide an update in the next video. But for now, let's take you through what I had to do. All right, in this first section, what I'm looking at is a broken part of as well as the emergency flashers that you can press. There's also a diagnostic warning light on there. And when I took apart the console, it was clear that not only are the bulbs broken, but now the board that supports this is broken in half. So that makes sense on why some of this stuff was working and part of it wasn't. This is one of the parts I'm going to have to order. Hopefully it's not unobtainium and I can get a replacement. And hopefully I can get it in the next couple of days. So more to come on that. All right, and here I'm taking out the aftermarket radio frame. And now that that's out, I'll let you in on a little secret. I've ordered a Blaupunk Bremen SQR 46, I believe, radio. If you're not familiar with this, it's a very cool radio. It's the retro look of the Blaupunk units that would have been put in this car back in the mid-'80s. However, rather than playing CDs, what looks like a CD door flips up, and there's a USB there, an SD card slot, and another direct input. Has Bluetooth, so not only will it look period correct, it's almost like a resto mod radio, if you will. In most 928s, you see the radios upgraded a variety of ways, and it just doesn't look right. This Bremen radio looks period correct, and it'll look nice. And while I've got all of this going on and rewiring everything anyway, it just made sense to take the plunge and put the radio in. Since everything's apart, I can run all the wiring quite easily. So that's going to be a fun project, and that'll be its own video probably sometime next week. So more to come on that. So once the radio was out, I was able to take out the underside of the shift control area. There's a frame, and unfortunately that's broken. In this next sequence, I'm taking out the 4 little screws that hold this tray. This needs to be cleaned. It's in wicked shape. I already have all new switches that I bought several months ago. Those are going to be replaced. It's with everything apart, it just makes sense to put all new switches in. Now here I'm trying to figure out how the radio comes out, and I'm quickly coming to the realization that the leather needs to come out before I can get access to the HVAC. At least that's what I thought at the time. Probably in hindsight, I probably could have got the clips out, but it seemed like the leather was actually holding it back. So here I am starting to pull the leather apart. And as I'm pulling this apart, I'm really trying to keep this all together so that I have a good representation of what I need. I realized that the thermistor, or whatever that thing is, was holding me back. There's the escutcheon on the outside, but then there's this contraption on the back, which I believe monitors the interior temperature. I think that's all that does for the climate control. So that's an elaborate thing. And I think I may have, in my quest to get this thing removed, I may have screwed up the sensor. So I'm going to see if I can't get a new part for that. And hopefully I can get that quickly. What's interesting is that aforementioned broken board, I don't see the wiring for the AC compressor. So I have a feeling that was removed, and that's why I wasn't getting anything to start at all on the AC compressor. I hope that's all it is. All right, so you can see this this temperature sensor unit was quite a bear to get out of the... I actually have the trim piece that goes on the outside, but I didn't realize it was elaborate behind this. And anyway, once that was removed, I could go to town on taking the leather off, working side to side. And what you're going to see is that from the factory, the underside of the console was black vinyl. And so that this car was an option with the leather interior, at least partially, which Porsche is famous for. So once I did that, the trim piece was off for the HVAC and the radio. Then I realized that gave me access to the HVAC controls. There's 6 screws holding that in that warning area. So I'm just organizing the screws now. All right, once that was out, the clock came out pretty straightforward. The clock, if you saw in an earlier video when we first pulled the clock did not work when the car was all together. We thought the clock was dead. It was. When we pulled the console apart, we saw that mice had eaten some of the wires. So that's another thing where when I hooked up my 12-volt battery charger to it with a couple of leads, if you saw it in the video, the clock worked fine. So I'm not a fan of this digital clock. I'd love to get an analog clock to replace it. But at least now, I can put it back in and it's working. Maybe an upgrade down the road later, but for now, we'll put that back in. Here I am finagling, trying to get the shifter out, but I realized it snapped out. It wasn't held in all that hard. And now the console's completely taken apart, save for the air vent that I just could not find a way to get off of there. There's a good shot of me taking a drink, but also you see a good shot of the vinyl and the original glue that was holding the leather on. At this point, what I did was I've sprayed this with Glue Be Gone. Here I am trying to frantically wipe it. It needs to really soak in. This is almost 40-year-old glue. So I'm letting Glue Be Gone just sit overnight, let it really work into the old glue, and then it'll wipe right off. That's the quick update for Tuesday, September 13th. Appreciate you watching. I'm going to keep moving on this at a blistering pace. And as of this video, I'm up to 970 subscribers. So we only need 30 more to reach the magic 1,000 mark. So if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to subscribe. If you enjoyed today's content, please press the like button and feel free to comment, as that also helps the algorithm. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you find this informative. And check out not only the rest of the channel with all the content, but also guyswithrides.com, our main website, where we have a variety of content, and as well from our Guess What Ride game to our every other day classifieds, Craigslist classifieds that we find, as well as our auctions. So encourage you to check that out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Take care.